At the turn of the 19th to the 20th century, a time brimming with curiosity and the spirit of discovery, the ancient civilizations of Mesoamerica began to captivate scholars and adventurers alike. This era, deeply influenced by Victorian-era fascination, saw ancient cultures not merely as relics of the past, but as windows into a grand, albeit lost world. The allure of these ancient societies drew people in, fueled by a mix of exploration, colonization, and a penchant for romanticizing the unknown. The mysteries these civilizations held were irresistible, sparking a wave of interest and investigation. Institutions in Europe and the United States, including museums and universities, recognized the immense value of understanding these indigenous civilizations. They started funding expeditions, driven not just by the desire to collect artifacts, but to delve deeper into the history and culture of these ancient peoples. This marked a significant shift in archaeology. What was once a quest for treasures evolved into a scientific discipline focused on careful excavation and analysis. This new approach aimed to uncover not just physical objects, but to piece together the stories and lives of those who created them. The period marked the beginning of archaeology as we know it today, where the goal is to learn from the past in a methodical and respectful manner. The Olmec civilization, known for its colossal heads and intricate stone structures, was one of the earliest to be uncovered. In the initial stages of exploration, many artifacts were mistakenly attributed to the more familiar Maya and Aztec civilizations. This was largely due to their apparent similarities in artistic style and the fact that the Maya and Aztec were better understood at the time. The unique aspects of Olmec art and iconography were not immediately recognized, highlighting the challenges faced by early archaeologists in differentiating between the complex cultures of the region. Two figures who played a pivotal role in bringing the wonders of Mesoamerica to the Western world were John Lloyd Stephens and Frederick Catherwood. Their expeditions, documented in incidents of travel in Central America, Chiapas, and Yucatan, not only introduced the Maya civilization to many, but also set a standard for future archaeological work. Their detailed illustrations and engaging narratives captured the imagination of the public, sparking a wave of interest in ancient Mesoamerican cultures. This era also saw the beginnings of comparative archaeology, where discoveries from Mesoamerica were placed in a global context, offering new perspectives on the development of human societies. Museums evolved from mere collections of curiosities to centers of research and education, significantly contributing to the dissemination of knowledge about these ancient cultures. The late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed the emergence of interdisciplinary approaches in archaeology, incorporating anthropology, linguistics, and even early environmental science, which enriched the understanding of Mesoamerican civilizations. The story of how the colossal stoneheads became recognized as a key to understanding the Olmec civilization is a fascinating tale of curiosity, exploration, and eventual enlightenment within the archaeological world. Initially stumbled upon by Western archaeologists in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, these massive sculptures, some towering over 9 feet tall and weighing several tons, presented a mystery. With their distinctive facial features, including flat noses and fleshy cheeks, and often adorned with helmet-like headgear, they captivated those who found them, but left many questions unanswered. The first significant acknowledgement of these heads came from José Melgar y Serrano in 1862, when he uncovered one at Tres Zapotes in Veracruz. Melgar described the sculpture as having Ethiopian features, a reflection of the era's interpretations and biases, underscoring how little was known about the Olmecs then. Although Melgar's discovery was groundbreaking, it was initially seen as an isolated find rather than evidence of a broader, unknown civilization. For decades, the colossal heads of the Olmec civilization were seen more as curious anomalies than vital cultural artifacts. Without a wider archaeological context, their true significance was often overlooked, and they were sometimes wrongly attributed to other known civilizations like the Maya or Aztec, or even to entirely speculative unknown cultures. These heads were like puzzle pieces, waiting for the rest of the picture to be put together. The narrative began to shift in the mid-20th century, thanks to more focused and systematic excavations in the Olmec heartland, led by archaeologists such as Matthew Stirling. These efforts unearthed additional colossal heads alongside other artifacts, helping to piece together the puzzle of the Olmec civilization. Through this dedicated work, the Olmecs were finally recognized as a distinct and influential culture in Mesoamerica, predating and potentially influencing subsequent civilizations like the Maya and Aztecs. In 1945, a groundbreaking expedition led by Matthew Stirling to San Lorenzo, Tenochtitlan, dramatically advanced our understanding of the Olmec civilization, an enigmatic culture that laid the foundational stones of Mesoamerican history. This mission, under the auspices of the Smithsonian Institution, delved deep into the heart of ancient Olmec lands, poised to unearth secrets of a civilization that predated many others in the Americas. Before this pivotal journey, the Olmec region had been brushed by explorers, primarily lured by the discovery of colossal stoneheads that hinted at a culture of remarkable sophistication. However, these initial forays barely scratched the surface, leaving a treasure trove of Olmec history buried under layers of earth and vegetation. Recognizing the potential significance of these sites, the Smithsonian Institution stepped in, providing the necessary support and funding for a more thorough exploration. Matthew Stirling, chosen to lead this expedition, was no stranger to the complexities of Mesoamerican archaeology. His expertise and keen interest in ancient cultures made him the ideal candidate to navigate the challenges that lay ahead. And challenges there were, from the dense tropical vegetation that cloaked San Lorenzo, making access and excavation a daunting task, to the humid and unpredictable climate that threatened both the team and the preservation of unearthed artifacts. The vastness of San Lorenzo, spreading across several kilometers, presented another hurdle. It was impossible to excavate the entire site in one go, so Stirling and his team had to make strategic decisions about where to dig, prioritizing areas where surface finds indicated the presence of significant artifacts. This meticulous approach to excavation was critical, requiring careful planning, mapping, and a methodical technique to ensure the delicate artifacts, some centuries old, were preserved for future study. As they cleared the jungle overgrowth and dug into the ancient soil, Stirling's team wasn't just unearthing artifacts. They were piecing together the story of the Olmec civilization. Each artifact, every stone, and every fragment of pottery added a new chapter to our understanding of this ancient culture. Detailed recording and documentation of their findings were essential, providing a foundation for future analysis and helping to paint a fuller picture of the Olmec way of life. San Lorenzo, dating back to around 1200 to 900 BCE, stands as a monumental beacon in the study of Mesoamerican history, often celebrated as the oldest major city in the region. This ancient city predates the civilizations of the Maya and Aztecs, offering a unique glimpse into the dawn of complex societies in the Americas. Thanks to radiocarbon dating, researchers have pinned down the timeline of San Lorenzo, providing a clearer view of the Olmec civilization's early days. Among the most striking discoveries at San Lorenzo are the colossal heads, masterpieces of Olmec artistry carved from single blocks of basalt. These imposing sculptures, with their almond-shaped eyes, broad noses, and downturned mouths, stand as silent witnesses to the Olmec's sculptural genius. The intricate headdresses adorning many of these heads have led scholars to speculate about their significance, suggesting they may represent individuals of high status or ceremonial importance. The sheer size and craftsmanship of these heads, some reaching up to 3 meters in height and weighing as much as 50 tons, underscore the advanced stoneworking skills of the Olmec people. But San Lorenzo's treasures extend beyond these iconic sculptures. The site has yielded jade figurines and celts, indicating robust trade networks and the cultural significance of jade. An array of pottery styles found at the site offers insights into daily life, artistic expression, and the Olmec's trade relations. The discovery of large structures, including platforms and possible elite residences, points to a highly organized society capable of mobilizing significant labor resources. The urban layout of San Lorenzo, organized around a central axis, reflects a thoughtfully planned development. The existence of distinct ceremonial and residential areas suggests a sophisticated urban structure, possibly mirroring social hierarchies within the Olmec society. In the 1950s, the archaeological spotlight turned to Venta, an Olmec site in Tabasco, Mexico, building on the momentum of earlier discoveries at San Lorenzo. This shift marked a significant phase in unraveling the mysteries of the Olmec civilization, regarded as one of the earliest complex societies in Mesoamerica. With renewed interest in the Olmec culture, archaeologists like Philip Drucker and Robert Heiser applied advanced methods and interdisciplinary approaches to dig deeper into the site's secrets, offering a more comprehensive understanding of this ancient civilization. Venta thrived between approximately 900 to 400 BCE, a period that witnessed the peak of Olmec cultural and artistic development. This era underscored the Olmec's remarkable achievements in architecture, art, and urban planning, setting a precedent for subsequent Mesoamerican cultures. Among the distinct features of Venta is the Great Pyramid, a monumental structure made of earth and clay, noted for its unique conical shape. Unlike the pyramidal structures that would later dominate Mesoamerican landscapes, the Great Pyramid's design and scale highlight the Olmec's advanced engineering skills and their capacity for organizing large-scale construction projects. This pyramid, along with other structures at the site, was aligned with celestial bodies, hinting at the Olmec's sophisticated understanding of astronomy and suggesting its role as a ceremonial and cultural hub. The systematic excavation efforts at Venta brought to light not only architectural innovations, but also a wealth of artifacts, including the iconic colossal heads carved from basalt, believed to represent rulers or significant figures within Olmec society. Similarly, altars adorned with intricate carvings provided glimpses into the civilization's mythology and rituals. The discovery of jade artifacts, exquisite in their craftsmanship, pointed to extensive trade networks and the high value placed on jade within Olmec culture. Venta also revealed complex burial sites and offerings, including serpentine mosaic pavements, which offered insights into the civilization's funerary practices and religious beliefs. These findings have been instrumental in piecing together the social structure and artistic achievements of the Olmec civilization, significantly influencing the study of Mesoamerican archaeology. However, the preservation of Venta faces challenges due to the tropical climate and human factors, underscoring the importance of ongoing research and conservation efforts. The exploration of Venta in the 1950s was a watershed moment in understanding the depth and complexity of the Olmec civilization, providing a foundation for future studies and ensuring the legacy of this pivotal culture in Mesoamerican history remains appreciated and preserved.
Scientists recently discovered a prehistoric structure on an island, revealing a remarkable chapter in the annals of archaeology, complete with unexpected finds and enduring mysteries. These ancient megalithic temples of Malta, which predate both the pyramids of Egypt and Stonehenge, have captivated historians, archaeologists with their mysterious origins and sophisticated construction.
Very enigmatic, obviously left over from a time where advanced ancient technology existed.
The astonishing complexity of these structures suggests a level of technology that seems almost impossible for humans of that era, sparking intense curiosity and fascination about how such wonders were built. The first significant discovery of Malta's megalithic temples can be traced back to the early 19th century. In 1826, the Gantia temples on the island of Gozo were uncovered by local farmers who were clearing land for agriculture. The immense size of the stones and the unique structure of the site led to local legends attributing their construction to giants, hence the name Gantija, derived from the Maltese word for giant. This early discovery sparked the interest of scholars and adventurers, but it wasn't until later that systematic excavations began.
That's why I keep doing it, because I want to reveal the truth of this stuff to, the world in general.
In 1839, Father Manuel Magri, a Maltese Jesuit priest and an amateur archaeologist, initiated excavations at the Hagar Chim site. Magri's work, though not documented with modern precision, laid the groundwork for future archaeological efforts. His findings highlighted the sophistication of the temple builders, bringing to light intricately carved stone blocks and various artifacts. The most influential figure in the systematic study of these temples was Sir Temi Zamit, a Maltese archaeologist and the first director of the National Museum of Archaeology in Valletta. Beginning in the early 20th century, Zamit conducted extensive excavations at several temple sites, including Taksien, Menajdra, and Hagar Kim. His meticulous work and detailed documentation significantly advanced the understanding of these ancient structures and preserved them for future generations. The excavation process was painstaking and required careful attention to detail to prevent damage to the fragile structures and artifacts. Early excavations often employed simple tools, such as shovels and picks, with laborers removing soil and debris by hand. As archaeological methods advanced, more sophisticated techniques, such as photogrammetry and three-dimensional laser scanning, were introduced to accurately document the temple's layouts and features. One of the most dramatic discoveries occurred in 1902 when workers quarrying for stone accidentally unearthed the hypogeum of Hal Saflieni.
It's a very complicated, incredibly enigmatic, mysterious place.
This subterranean complex, carved directly into the rock, revealed an intricate network of chambers and passageways, providing a unique glimpse into the spiritual and burial practices of Malta's ancient inhabitants. The hypogeum's discovery underscored the complexity and scale of Maltese megalithic architecture, with its multiple levels and finely carved interiors. From the outset, the discovery of Malta's megalithic temples was shrouded in mystery. The sheer age of the structures, some dating back to around 3600 BCE, challenged existing notions about the capabilities of prehistoric societies. The temple's advanced construction techniques, featuring precisely cut stone blocks weighing up to 20 tons, suggested a level of technological and organizational sophistication that was previously unimaginable for such an early period. The architectural design of the temples, often incorporating a trefoil layout with central apses and altars, hinted at complex religious or social functions. Some temples, such as Menajdra, were aligned with astronomical events like the solstices and equinoxes, suggesting that the builders possessed a deep understanding of celestial movements.
They understood how to align things to north, south, east, and west, taking into account the solstices and equinoxes.
Excavations at the temple sites revealed a wealth of artifacts, providing valuable insights into the lives and beliefs of their builders. Among the most significant finds were the Fat Lady statues, stylized figures of women believed to represent deities. These statues discovered at sites like Taksien and Hagar Kim. Other notable discoveries included altars, libation holes, and stone hearths, suggesting that the temples were centers for ritualistic activities. The hypogeum of Hal Saflieni, in particular, yielded over 7,000 human remains, indicating its use as a burial site. The megalithic temples of Malta are remarkable for several reasons. Their construction predates the pyramids of Egypt and Stonehenge by over a millennium, positioning them among the earliest known examples of monumental architecture. The temple's sophisticated design, featuring corbelled roofs and intricately carved stone blocks, showcase an advanced level of engineering. The temple's layout often includes a central passage flanked by semicircular chambers, creating a trefoil design that is unique to Maltese architecture. This distinctive layout, combined with the presence of altars and libation holes, suggests that the temples served as places of worship most likely. The discovery of numerous figurines and carvings, including the famous sleeping lady from the hypogeum, highlights the artistic and symbolic richness of the temple builders. These artifacts provide a window into the life of Malta's prehistoric inhabitants. The size and scale of the Maltese temples are awe-inspiring. For example, the Gantija temples feature outer walls constructed from massive limestone blocks, some measuring over 5 meters in length and weighing more than 20 tons. These colossal stones are comparable in weight to a full-grown African elephant or a modern-day construction truck. The interiors of the temples are equally impressive, with large apses and intricately constructed corbelled roofs. The craftsmanship required to create such structures using only primitive tools or possibly advanced ancient technology will be a mystery for now. The precise alignment of certain temples with astronomical events further shows their advanced understanding of celestial phenomena and their ability to incorporate this knowledge into their architectural designs. The discovery of the megalithic temples of Malta has led to a plethora of theories and speculations regarding their origins, purpose, and eventual abandonment. These ancient structures continue to intrigue researchers, offering glimpses into a long-lost civilization and raising questions that have yet to be fully answered. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Maltese temples is the question of who built them. Recent genetic studies have suggested that the temple builders were not direct ancestors of modern Maltese people, indicating that they may have been a distinct population with unique genetic traits. This discovery has led to various theories about their origins. One compelling hypothesis is that the builders came from nearby Sicily or other parts of the Mediterranean, bringing with them advanced knowledge of construction and agriculture. This theory is supported by the similarities in pottery styles and construction techniques found across the region. The genetic differences between the ancient temple builders and modern Maltese people raise further questions about the migrations and interactions of prehistoric populations in the Mediterranean. Equally mysterious is the sudden abandonment of the temples around 2500 BCE. Various theories have been proposed to explain this abrupt end. One theory suggests that environmental changes such as severe drought or soil depletion could have made the island less hospitable, forcing the inhabitants to leave. Another theory posits that social upheaval or external invasion might have led to the decline of this once thriving civilization. The lack of clear evidence leaves room for much speculation. Some researchers suggest that a catastrophic event, such as an earthquake or tsunami, might have played a role. Others believe that changes in religious or cultural practices could have led to the temples falling out of use. The sudden disappearance of the temple-building culture remains one of the most enduring mysteries of Maltese prehistory. The purpose of the megalithic temples remains one of the most debated topics among scholars. While it is widely accepted that they had a religious function, the exact nature of this function is still unclear. One theory proposes that the temples served as astronomical observatories. The alignment of certain temples with solar and lunar events suggests that they could have been used to mark the passage of time and the changing seasons, playing a crucial role in agricultural practices. This astronomical alignment would have required precise observations and a deep understanding of celestial movements. The temples of Malta share several intriguing similarities with other megalithic sites across Europe, such as Stonehenge and the Karnak stones in France. These coincidences have led some to speculate about a pan-European megalithic culture that shared knowledge and religious practices across vast distances. One particularly interesting theory is the idea that the temples were part of a prehistoric global grid of sacred sites, aligned according to geometric and astronomical principles. Proponents of this theory suggest that ancient builders had a profound understanding of the Earth's energies and constructed their temples to harness and amplify these forces. This theory, while speculative, highlights the potential interconnectedness of ancient cultures and their shared knowledge of astronomy and architecture. In addition to the main temple sites, several other significant discoveries have been made in Malta and Gozo. For example, the Zagra stone circle, also on Gozo, is an ancient burial complex that has yielded numerous human remains and artifacts, providing further evidence of the island's rich prehistoric culture. The stone circle's complex layout and the presence of burial chambers suggest that it played an important role in the ritual and social life of the ancient Maltese. The discovery of cart ruts, parallel grooves carved into the rock, across Malta and Gozo adds another layer of mystery. These ruts, whose purpose remains uncertain, have sparked various theories, ranging from transportation tracks to ceremonial pathways. The precise function and origin of these cart ruts continue to puzzle researchers, adding to the enigmatic nature of Malta's prehistoric. The discovery of the underground city of Derinkuyu in Turkey is one of the most fascinating archaeological finds of the 20th century. In an extraordinary twist of fate, scientists discovered an underground civilization that had remained untouched for thousands of years, hidden beneath the surface of the Earth. This remarkable city, uncovered purely by chance in 1963, led to a series of investigations revealing its vast extent and complex structure. The discovery story itself is steeped in mystery and serendipity, contributing to the intrigue surrounding this ancient subterranean metropolis. What secrets did this hidden world hold, and how did it remain concealed for so long? In 1963, a local resident in the Nevşehir province of central Turkey was renovating his home in the town of Derinkuyu when he stumbled upon a hidden room behind a wall. As he continued to dig, he realized that this room was not an isolated chamber, but rather the entrance to a labyrinthine network of tunnels and rooms carved into the soft volcanic rock. This accidental discovery quickly attracted the attention of archaeologists and historians, eager to explore what lay beneath. When researchers began to excavate and study the site, they uncovered an extensive underground city that extended to a depth of approximately 85 meters. The city was found to have 18 levels, although not all levels are currently accessible. Each level served a different purpose, with residential quarters, communal kitchens, stables, storage rooms, chapels, and even a school. The sheer size and complexity of Derinkuyu astonished the archaeological community and raised numerous questions about the city's origins and its builders. The mysterious nature of Derinkuyu's discovery added to its allure. Unlike many ancient cities that were discovered through systematic archaeological efforts, Derinkuyu was revealed by a simple act of home renovation. This serendipitous discovery led to the realization that the region's landscape, dotted with hills and valleys, concealed a vast underground world built by ancient hands. Upon its discovery, Derinkuyu immediately became a site of intense study. Archaeologists found that the city could accommodate an estimated 20,000 people, along with their livestock and provisions. The city's design included ventilation shafts which provided fresh air to the deepest levels, and a complex water system that ensured a reliable supply of drinking water. The presence of such advanced infrastructure suggested that it was not just a temporary refuge, but a fully functioning subterranean city designed for long-term habitation. Inside, researchers uncovered numerous artifacts that provided insights into the lives of its ancient inhabitants. These included pottery, tools, religious icons, and inscriptions. The artifacts indicated that the city had been used for various purposes over the centuries, including as a place of refuge during times of war and invasion. The strategic location of Derinkuyu, in the heart of Cappadocia, made it an ideal hideout for early Christians fleeing persecution from the Roman Empire. One of the most intriguing aspects of Derinkuyu is its sheer size and the volume of material that had to be excavated to create it. It is estimated that several thousand tons of rock were removed to carve out the city's intricate network of tunnels and rooms. To put this into perspective, the volume of excavated material would have been comparable to that required to construct the Great Pyramid of Giza. This monumental feat raises questions about the technology and manpower available to the ancient builders. The size of this cave is often compared to other large underground structures, such as modern subway systems or military bunkers. However, unlike these contemporary constructions, Derinkuyu was built without the aid of modern machinery or engineering techniques. The builders relied on basic tools and manual labor to achieve this extraordinary feat. The city's design, with its narrow passageways and hidden entrances, also suggests a high level of strategic planning and knowledge of defense tactics. Among the many theories about its purpose, one of the most compelling is that it served as an ancient bunker or fortress. The city's defensive features, including large stone doors that could be rolled into place to block passageways, support this theory. These doors, which weighed several hundred kilograms, could only be operated from the inside, providing an effective means of sealing off sections of the city from invaders. The subterranean nature of Derinkuyu also offered protection from aerial attacks, which would have been a significant advantage during times of conflict. The city's hidden location and fortified design made it an ideal refuge for its inhabitants, allowing them to survive sieges and other threats for extended periods. This theory is further supported by the discovery of similar underground cities in the Cappadocia region, suggesting a widespread practice of constructing such refuges in response to external threats. Derinkuyu's discovery opened a window into a mysterious world, prompting numerous theories about its purpose and the people who built it. One interesting theory posits that Derinkuyu was not just a refuge, but a fully functioning underground society capable of sustaining its inhabitants for prolonged periods. The city's comprehensive infrastructure, including kitchens, wine and oil presses, and communal dining areas, supports this notion. The presence of these amenities indicates that Derinkuyu was designed for long-term habitation, not just short-term shelter. Another intriguing theory is that Derinkuyu served as a religious center or a monastic community. The discovery of chapels and religious artifacts within the city points to a strong spiritual dimension to life underground. The early Christians, in particular, are believed to have used Derinkuyu and other underground cities in Cappadocia as places of worship and refuge from Roman persecution. The isolation and security provided by these subterranean complexes would have allowed religious practices to continue in secrecy and safety. The strategic location of Derinkuyu in the Cappadocian landscape also raises questions about its broader significance. Cappadocia, with its unique geological formations and central location, was a crossroads of ancient civilizations. This region saw the rise and fall of numerous empires, from the Hittites to the Byzantines, each leaving its mark on the land. The existence of underground cities like Derinkuyu suggests a long history of adaptation to the region's unique environmental challenges. One of the most mysterious aspects of Derinkuyu is the lack of historical records detailing its construction. The absence of written accounts leaves much of its history shrouded in mystery. Archaeologists and historians have pieced together evidence from various sources, but many questions remain unanswered. For example, it is unclear who initially built Derinkuyu and for what specific purpose. Some theories suggest that it dates back to the Hittite period, while others propose that it was expanded and modified by later civilizations, including the Phrygians and early Christians. The coincidence of Derinkuyu's discovery with the rise of modern archaeological techniques has allowed for more detailed exploration and analysis of the site. Advanced technologies, such as ground-penetrating radar and 3D modeling, have enabled researchers to map the city's layout and uncover hidden chambers and passageways. These tools have revealed that Derinkuyu is even larger and more complex than initially thought, with new sections and levels still being discovered. The scale of Derinkuyu can be compared to modern cities in terms of population density and infrastructure. For instance, the city of Derinkuyu could house 20,000 people, a number comparable to many small towns today. The material excavated to create Derinkuyu is estimated to be in the range of several 100,000 cubic meters, akin to removing a small mountain. Among the artifacts discovered in Derinkuyu are items that suggest a high level of craftsmanship and cultural sophistication. These include intricately designed pottery, tools made from advanced materials for the time. One of the most compelling theories about Derinkuyu's construction is that it was a response to climatic or environmental changes. Some researchers suggest that the city was built during a period of significant climate instability, which drove people to seek shelter underground. The stable temperatures and controlled environment of the subterranean city would have provided a haven from extreme weather conditions and natural disasters. Additionally, Derinkuyu's proximity to other underground cities in Cappadocia suggests a network of interconnected refugees. These cities, linked by underground tunnels, would have allowed for communication and trade between different communities. This interconnectedness points to a high level of social organization and cooperation among the inhabitants, further supporting the theory that these underground cities were part of a broader strategy for survival and defense. Theories about Derinkuyu's purpose continue to evolve as new discoveries are made. Recent excavations have uncovered additional levels and chambers, suggesting that the city was even larger and more complex than previously thought. Sardinia, a large island nestled in the Mediterranean Sea, is famous for its unique and ancient megalithic structures known as Nuragic. These prehistoric monuments are emblematic of the Nuragic civilization, which thrived on the island from approximately 1800 BCE until the Roman conquest in 238 BCE. The Nuragic stand as a testament to the ingenuity and craftsmanship of this ancient society, reflecting their remarkable architectural skills, complex social organization, and rich cultural practices.
I think that we are dealing with a lost civilization. that was shamanistic in its basis.
The Nuragi of Sardinia weren't discovered in a single moment. Instead, they were gradually recognized and studied over time. These structures have always been a part of the Sardinian landscape, well known to the local population for centuries. It wasn't until the 19th century, however, that they began to attract significant scholarly attention. The initial attempts to document the Nuragi date back to the 16th century, with historians like Giovanni Francesco Fara and Francesco dell'Itala mentioning these impressive structures in their writings. Despite their mentions, systematic studies weren't conducted until much later, and it was only over time that more detailed descriptions and sketches brought wider attention to these ancient edifices. The formal archaeological study of Nuragi took off in the 19th century, spurred by European interest in ancient and prehistoric cultures.
Our understanding of prehistory must change.
Several scholars played crucial roles in the early understanding and cataloguing of these structures. One such figure was Alberto La Marmora, a geographer and naturalist who extensively explored Sardinia. In his work, Voyage en Sardaigne, published in 1826, La Marmora provided some of the earliest detailed descriptions and drawings of Nuragi. His work laid the foundation for future studies and brought international attention to Sardinia's megalithic structures, sparking a wider interest in these fascinating monuments. The increased focus on these ancient structures in the 19th century set the stage for a more systematic approach to their study and preservation. The efforts of these early scholars paved the way for deeper exploration and understanding of the Nuragic civilization, highlighting the profound historical and cultural significance of the Nuragi in Sardinia's heritage. The megalithic structures of Sardinia, Italy, known as Nuragi, were constructed by the Nuragic civilization, which thrived on the island. These ancient megalithic edifices served multiple purposes, including fortresses, places of worship, and residences. Characterized by their conical towers and complex designs, over 7,000 of these fascinating structures have been identified scattered throughout Sardinia. They were constructed during the Bronze Age between 1900 BCE and 730 BCE, and they symbolize the advanced construction techniques and societal organization of the Nuragic people. The Nuragi were first extensively studied in the 19th and early 20th centuries. One of the most notable early researchers was Giovanni Liliu, an Italian archaeologist whose significant excavations and studies in the mid-20th century brought international attention to these ancient structures.
I think the dating of quite a number of megalithic sites needs to be reconsidered.
His work at Nuraga su Nuraxi in Barumini is particularly noteworthy and highlighted the importance of these historical monuments. The Nuragi are built with large, irregularly shaped stones that fit together without the use of mortar. This dry stone technique is notable for its durability and the precision with which the stones were cut and placed. The stones used in construction vary significantly in size and weight, with some weighing several tons. The largest stones are often used at the base of the structures to provide stability, while smaller stones are placed higher up. These stones were sourced locally, with basalt and limestone being the most commonly used materials, facilitating the widespread construction of Nuragi throughout Sardinia. Most Nuragi feature a central conical tower, known as a keep, with one or more surrounding secondary towers. These are connected by a network of walls and passageways. The central tower typically contains one or more interior chambers, sometimes accessed by a spiral staircase. The design of Nuragi varies, with some being single towers and others forming complex multi-tower structures. One of the most significant Nuragi is Nurage su Nuraxi in Barumini, excavated by Giovanni Liliu in the 1950s. This site features a central tower surrounded by 4 smaller towers, with an extensive village of huts and defensive walls. In 1997, Nurage su Nuraxi was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site due to its historical significance and well-preserved state. The central tower stands approximately 18.5 meters high and consists of 3 stories, making it one of the most complex and well-preserved examples of Nuragic architecture. Nuraghe Losa, located in Abbassanta, is known for its triangular layout and central tower surrounded by thick walls. It includes a courtyard and additional rooms for various purposes, representing the architectural sophistication of the Nuragic civilization. Built from basalt blocks, Nuraghe Losa features a well-preserved interior with a corbel vaulted ceiling, showcasing the advanced construction techniques of its builders. Another notable nuraga is Nuraga Santu Antin in Torralba, one of the largest nuragi, featuring a central tower with 3 smaller surrounding towers connected by a defensive wall. This impressive structure showcases the defensive capabilities and strategic planning of the Nuragic people. Known as Sadomo de Sure, Nuraga Santu Antin is one of the most majestic nuragi, with a central tower that reaches up to 17 meters in height. The Nuragic civilization of Sardinia is renowned for its fascinating megalithic structures, and beyond the iconic nuragi, there are several other remarkable sites and artifacts that offer deeper insights into this ancient culture. One such intriguing site is the Well of Santa Cristina in Poli Latino. This subterranean temple is an architectural marvel, featuring a trapezoidal vestibule, a descending staircase, and a circular well chamber. The well is constructed with meticulously cut basalt blocks, forming a perfect dome over the chamber. What makes it even more captivating is its precise alignment with the sun during the equinoxes, where sunlight penetrates the entrance and illuminates the water inside, creating a striking visual effect. The precision of the stone cutting and the dry construction technique reflect advanced knowledge of geometry and engineering. Remarkably, the well remains dry even in the wettest seasons, showcasing sophisticated water management techniques. Theories suggest the well possibly served as a solar calendar marking important agricultural or ceremonial events. Another fascinating aspect of the Nuragic civilization is their craftsmanship in creating bronzetti, small bronze statuettes found at various sites. These figurines, depicting warriors, animals, and deities, are detailed and showcase high levels of craftsmanship. The variety of figures, including intricately detailed warriors and symbolic animals like bulls, highlights the Nuragic people's artistic sophistication and the symbolic importance of these figures in their culture.
The myths of the world, those that have survived, are the Hall of Records of the lost past.
Many of these bronzetti are believed to have been used in ancient ceremonies, serving as votive offerings or representations of mythological stories, and they indicate a society with distinct social roles and a rich pantheon of gods and goddesses. The giants' tombs is another impressive feature of the Nuragic landscape. These megalithic gallery graves consist of a large central stele and a burial chamber covered with massive stone slabs, with entrances often marked by semicircular forecourts. Codu Vecchiu is one of the largest and most well-preserved examples, with its central stele standing over 4 meters high, and the burial chamber designed to accommodate multiple individuals. These tombs demonstrate the Nuragic people's ability to move and manipulate large stones, and were likely used for communal burials, indicating a collective approach to death and the afterlife. Local legends often associate these tombs with giants, reflecting the monumental scale and awe-inspiring nature of these structures. Many of these tombs are oriented to align with specific celestial events, such as solstices or equinoxes, suggesting a deep connection between Nuragic burial practices and astronomical observations. The alignment of giants' tombs with celestial events is similar to other megalithic structures worldwide, indicating that the Nuragic people possessed advanced knowledge of astronomy and used it in their spiritual and everyday lives. These tombs may have served not only as burial sites, but also as locations for ritualistic activities related to ancestor worship and seasonal ceremonies. The communal nature of giants' tombs is reminiscent of other ancient collective burial sites, such as the passage tombs of Newgrange in Ireland, which also align with astronomical events, highlighting the widespread ancient practice of integrating burial rituals with celestial phenomena. Göbekli Tepe, located in the Şanlıurfa province of southeastern Turkey, is considered one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. This ancient site, dating back to around 9600 BCE, has revolutionized our understanding of prehistoric human society.
Huge enclosures under the ground that they haven't excavated yet. The story of Göbekli Tepe is just beginning.
This civilization predates the Aztec and the Incas by hundreds of years. The story of its discovery is as fascinating and mysterious as the site itself. Göbekli Tepe was first discovered by Klaus Schmidt, a German archaeologist, in the early 1990s. At that time, the site was mistakenly identified as a Byzantine cemetery due to the visible limestone slabs protruding from the ground, which were assumed to be gravestones. The significance of these stones was not recognized, and the site was largely ignored for several decades. It wasn't until 1994 when Klaus Schmidt, who had been working on Neolithic sites in the region, revisited the site that its true importance was realized.
I think that we are dealing with a lost civilization that was shamanistic in its basis.
Schmidt had been searching for a new project and was drawn to the site after reading the brief mention of it in the earlier survey reports. Upon visiting Göbekli Tepe, he immediately recognized that the stone pillars were not mere gravestones, but part of a much larger and more complex structure. Schmidt's keen eye and deep understanding of Neolithic architecture led him to believe that the site could be the remains of a monumental temple or gathering place. Excavations began under Schmidt's direction in 1995, revealing a series of massive T-shaped stone pillars arranged in circular formations. The pillars, some of which reached heights of over 5.5 meters and weighed up to 20 tons, were intricately carved with depictions of animals, abstract symbols, and geometric patterns. These carvings included images of lions, snakes, boars, foxes, and various birds, all rendered with a level of artistry that was completely unexpected for the time period.
We underestimated the power and intelligence and skills of ancient peoples.
The discovery of Göbekli Tepe was mysterious, not only because of its age, but also because it contradicted established theories about the development of human civilization. Prior to its discovery, it was widely believed that complex societies and monumental architecture did not emerge until after the advent of agriculture and settled life. However, Göbekli Tepe was constructed by a society of hunter-gatherers more than 7,000 years before the pyramids of Egypt. This forced archaeologists to reconsider the timeline of human development and the relationship between religion, social organization, and the rise of agriculture.
Well, maybe we're just wrong about what hunter-gatherers can do. Maybe they're smarter and more sophisticated than we thought they were.
One of the most intriguing aspects of Göbekli Tepe is the sheer size and scale of the site. The stone pillars, with their immense weight and size, are among the largest known megaliths from the ancient world. To put this in perspective, each pillar is comparable in size to the Moai statues of Easter Island, which are similarly massive but were constructed millennia later. The transportation and erection of these pillars would have required a highly organized workforce and advanced knowledge of engineering and construction techniques. This challenges the assumption that early Neolithic societies lacked the complexity and technological prowess to undertake such monumental projects.
These structures at Göbekli Tepe were made by hunter-gatherers, who we know lived in small communities of a couple dozen to a couple hundred people.
The site itself covers an area of approximately 300 meters by 300 meters, but geophysical surveys suggest that there are still many more structures buried beneath the surface. Excavations have uncovered 4 circular enclosures, but experts believe that up to 20 such enclosures may exist, awaiting excavation. The largest of the exposed enclosures, known as Enclosure D, features pillars arranged in a circle with a diameter of about 20 meters. The central pillars of this enclosure are the tallest and most elaborately decorated, indicating their importance in the site's design. The excavations at Göbekli Tepe revealed a wealth of artifacts and structural features that have provided invaluable insights into the site's function and the people who built it. In addition to the massive stone pillars, archaeologists have uncovered tools made from flint and obsidian, including blades, scrapers, and arrowheads. These tools were likely used in the construction of the site, as well as in hunting and daily life. One of the most intriguing finds was the lack of domestic remains, such as houses or hearths, which suggests that Göbekli Tepe was not a residential settlement. Instead, it appears to have been something else, possibly a place of worship or a gathering spot. The absence of agricultural tools or evidence of farming further supports the idea that the people who built Göbekli Tepe were still primarily hunter-gatherers. Interestingly, the carvings on the pillars seem to depict a wide range of animals that would have been present in the region during the time of this structure's construction. Some researchers believe that these carvings may have had symbolic meanings, perhaps related to the spiritual beliefs of the people who used the site. Others suggest that the images could represent a form of proto-writing or a way to record important events or myths. Göbekli Tepe is often referred to as the oldest known temple in the world. Its construction dates back to approximately 9,600 BCE, predating Stonehenge by around 6,000 years. The stone pillars at Göbekli Tepe are among the largest megaliths from the ancient world, with some weighing as much as 20 tons. The precision with which these stones were carved and erected is remarkable, especially considering the lack of metal tools or the wheel. The carvings on the pillars are not only numerous but also of exceptionally high quality. The depictions of animals and symbols are rendered with a level of detail and craftsmanship that indicates a deep understanding of both the natural world and artistic expression. The question of who built Göbekli Tepe and why is one of the most intriguing mysteries surrounding the site.
If there was an advanced civilization that lived, say, 30,000 years ago, which is what Graham thinks, where is their trash?
Given the lack of written records from this period, we can only speculate based on the available archaeological evidence. One prevailing theory is that Göbekli Tepe was built by a group of hunter-gatherers. The site may have served as a pilgrimage center or a communal gathering place where different groups came together. The scale of the site suggests that it was of great importance to its builders, possibly serving as a focal point for their lives. The carvings on the pillars, which depict animals, abstract symbols, and human-like figures, could represent deities, spirits, or mythological beings that were central to the beliefs of the people who built the site. The T-shaped pillars themselves might symbolize human figures, possibly representing ancestors or gods. The construction of Göbekli Tepe is a testament to the ingenuity and capabilities of its builders. The sheer size and weight of the stone pillars raise questions about how a society without advanced technology could have achieved such a feat. While some have speculated about the involvement of extraterrestrial beings or lost advanced civilizations, most archaeologists believe that the site was built using human labor.
The handiwork of humans is clearly evident in this site.
The quarrying, transportation, and erection of the pillars would have required a well-organized workforce and a deep understanding of stone working techniques. The builders likely used simple tools made from flint and obsidian to carve the pillars, and they may have employed wooden sledges, ropes, and ramps to move the stones into place. The age of Göbekli Tepe was determined through radiocarbon dating of organic materials found within the site. This method measures the decay of radioactive carbon isotopes in organic remains, providing an estimate of the time since the material was last alive. Radiocarbon dating of charcoal samples taken from the site indicates that Göbekli Tepe is over 11,600 years old. This makes Göbekli Tepe the oldest known large-scale structure built by humans, predating even the earliest known agricultural communities. One of the most puzzling aspects of Göbekli Tepe is the fact that it was deliberately buried around 8,000 BCE, after being in use for over 1,000 years. The reasons for this intentional burial remain unclear, but several theories have been proposed. One theory suggests that the site was buried as part of a ritual closure. The burial might have been a symbolic act, marking the end of its use as a sacred site. This could have been done to preserve the sanctity of the site, to protect it from desecration, or it could have been for more sinister reasons that are unknown. Another theory posits that the burial was a practical measure. The site may have become structurally unstable over time, and the builders might have decided to cover it to prevent it from collapsing or being damaged by the elements. This theory is supported by the fact that the burial seems to have been done with great care, using materials that would have helped to preserve the structures beneath. But does it make sense to partake in a feat so large using so much manpower? The true purpose of Göbekli remains one of the most hotly debated topics among archaeologists. While it is generally agreed that the site had a religious or ceremonial function, the specifics of its use are still unclear.